Nikki, Chad was killed. Chad was murdered. It's not a suicide. There were multiple gunshots. Yes. So like I said, I know how. I just need to know why.
No.
Is there...
Why would anybody...
I don't know, Nikki, but that's what I want to find out. So why would that happen to Chad?
I don't know.
Talk to Chad, talk to Chad every night.
What did Chad think of you going and staying in a hotel room with Earl? Chad didn't think anything of that? Really?
No.
I'm a married man myself. He's married. That would not fly with... I don't know any guy that would fly with that. What would you have done if Chad had went and stayed with Earl's wife in a hotel room while you stayed home? Come on. Let's be realistic. Saw the crime scene. We have all the evidence to kind of know what happened here. And a crime scene like that and what happened to Chad could have been done by someone that could be construed as a monster, or it could be someone that, if they had a reason for that, but it would need to be explained. Otherwise, it's going to look like it was done by someone who was a monster.
This is the story of Nikki Ensel, a woman whose quiet resentment and secret affair led to a cold, calculated murder that would leave an entire community in shock. To those who knew her, Nikki seemed like an ordinary wife, a mother, someone living a peaceful life in Bismarck, North Dakota, alongside her husband, Chad Ensel. But beneath that ordinary surface, Nikki wasn't nurturing a marriage. She was plotting an escape with a man she barely knew, yet one she believed could offer her a new life. Her lover, Earl Howard, controlling, manipulative. A man with a past shrouded in secrecy and a future built on dangerous promises. Together, Nikki and Earl ignited a deadly plan. And Chad Ensel, a kind-hearted man who trusted his wife, had no idea his fate was already sealed. This is also the story of Chad Ensel, a 42-year-old man known for his gentle spirit and love for the simple things in life. Chad loved the outdoors. He loved hockey. He loved the small joys of home. But most of all, he loved his wife, Nikki. What he didn't know was that Nikki's affection had turned to apathy and her loyalty to betrayal. As he kissed her goodnight, he couldn't see the danger sleeping beside him, and he was running out of time. January 2nd, 2020, Bismarck, North Dakota. The new year had just begun. For most, it was a time for fresh starts and resolutions. For Nikki and Earl, it was the moment to set their twisted plan in motion. That day, Chad believed he was going about a normal routine. But while he was out of the house, Earl Howard, his wife's secret lover, crept inside. What followed was brutal. Chad Ensel was shot twice in the head with a .22 caliber rifle. But that wasn't enough for Nikki and Earl. They set the house on fire, hoping to erase all traces of their crime, hoping the flames would mask the truth. Minutes later, 911 received a frantic call.
4900 43rd Avenue, Northeast.
Okay, and is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can I get your name, please?
Nikki Ensel.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nikki Ensel.
How do you spell your last name, please, Nikki?
E-N-C-E-L.
Spell your first name, please.
The 1319.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I came out here to check. My husband sent a text message that he didn't come in today, and I've been good 3 days, and so I'm coming here to check. and I walked in, I opened the garage door, and I walked in, and the house is smoky. I can't get in the door. It's smoky in the house.
Okay, so you see smoke? Or
I can see inside the, and
okay.
like our Washington's black, and it's just smoky in there, and I can't get in the door.
Okay, do you see any flames at all?
I don't.
Okay, and you were coming here to check on who again? I'm sorry?
Check on my husband. I've been out for a few days.
Okay.
And his work called and said he didn't come in at all. And I tried calling him,
Okay.
no answers. They tried calling him, no answer. So I said, I was just swamped. I couldn't get away at work today, and I'm coming out now because I'm off work, and he can't get in the door. And when I look, everything's black. So
Okay.
I died. So I want to go in and check.
Slow. Okay, Nikki.
But the truth, as always, has a way of surviving. When firefighters arrived, they found Chad's lifeless body in the bedroom, surrounded by smoke and mystery. At first, it looked like a tragic accident, a fire gone wrong. But it didn't take long for investigators to spot the inconsistencies. Chad's body showed no signs of smoke inhalation. He was dead before the fire ever started. The fire's origin points were suspicious. Accelerants used to spread the flames deliberately. And detectives have questions, so they wait no farther. They brought Nikki for questionings.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay. Nikki, you knew Chad the best.
Yeah.
What do you think happened here?
Everyone has bad days. Everyone has bad days. And before I told you that, I told everything. He's told me before. We had other arguments, and I told him to stop drinking. He says, everyone always wants to tell me what to do. And at the end, I told him I was upset and hurt by him following me. He says, I don't fucking do anything right. Maybe I should just go fucking away. He would say that different times. Maybe I should just fucking away. I never played into it. He goes, I don't know what's wrong with my fucking mind. I said, we're gonna go someplace. And different times he said, I'm gonna go ask my mom. And I said, okay. I said, we can go to Kelsey. After we can drink, you're so nice to me. When you drink, you're so different.
What do you think happened here?
I don't know.
Okay, Nikki.
I don't know. I miss you so much.
Right. Well, Nikki, you asked me why.
I just want to know what
Right.
happened.
Right. Well, I don't know why yet, but I do know how.
Oh.
Okay, so, yeah, absolutely. So, Nikki, obviously when we go through something like this, I don't know if you watch TV much or anything, but
I don't watch TV.
we're able to do a lot with digital information.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to get information off of cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to track the location of those cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to go back and pull surveillance video. Even sometimes if someone has turned it off or if it doesn't work, we can still recover that.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to basically go through that scene and find tiny little things
Mm-hmm.
that the naked eye doesn't see.
Right.
We have a lot of new technology that we can do a lot of stuff with, and I pulled no stops on this one.
Right.
As you asked me, why.
Right.
And I wanted to find out for you. So we can do all that, and you know, like I said, we can track all those cell phones. So you know, we can go back, we can look at camera footage from the area of vehicles coming and going. I'm going to say that Chad's death was not an accident.
What? Mm-hmm.
Based off of all of the information that I've gathered, Chad's death was not an accident.
I don't understand.
Well, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, and I wanted you to hear it from me, you know, going into this. Like I said, we have pulled so many resources in on this, and we have used so much technology on this. We know how this happened. And Nikki, I think you know how too.
I don't. That's why I asked you. I don't know what happened.
Chad did not die in the fire. Okay?
Okay.
Chad was killed by a gunshot.
What?
Yep, he was killed by a firearm.
What?
Yeah. We did an autopsy on Chad, and there was no soot in his lungs or in his throat. And that tells us that Chad was dead before the fire started. Okay? There was also a gunshot wound to Chad. Or there was a gunshot wound to Chad. And that happened before the fire. Yeah. So, is there anybody you can think of that's involved with this? Do you know who's involved with this?
No. I don't know.
Do you know anything about do you know anything about Chad's death?
No, I don't.
Okay. Like I said, we did find the gun on scene.
Sorry, it's not my phone. I don't know what it would be.
It's okay. I think we need to finish with this anyway. So, is there anybody else who's been in that house?
I don't know who would come, you know, in and out of the house. I mean, I don't know who would be in and out. I don't know who would come. I don't know who would come in and out of the house.
Okay. Was there anybody else besides, was it Earl, with you when you came back?
No.
Did you ever see anybody in the house when you were there? When you came back?
I didn't see anybody.
Okay.
I said we ran in on the house.
Right.
I said,
So, you see, how long were you guys in the house?
at max meeting, 30 minutes meeting for them. I said, I know it was 8:30 something.
Yeah.
And we left.
Nothing happened when you guys were there? When you guys came at 8:30? When was Chad bowling then? Okay.
That was his house.
Okay. So you didn't see anybody there? Nothing seemed out of place?
I didn't pay attention. I just ran And then I ran out and that was it. I just grabbed my stuff and left.
Okay. Who is Earl to you?
I've known him. Like I said, he bought stuff. We became good friends. And he's hung out. You know, we all know him. We, you know, joke back and forth. We, you know,
Nikki,
we all met back and forth.
it's okay. You can tell me if were you guys romantically involved or anything? No.
The first lie Nikki told was simple and stupid. She claimed she barely knew Earl Howard, but detectives already had her phone records, hundreds of calls, hundreds of text messages, not random, not innocent. Earl wasn't just an acquaintance, he was her secret lover.
Or boyfriend or girlfriend or anything?
No. I'm married.
I know, but you know, I was just with all that going on.
No. I'm married. He's married.
Oh, he's married.
He's married.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's married. He said that.
All right. So, did you tell Earl about the abuse or anything like that?
He saw the bruise marks, you know, a couple times, but he just said, you know, I wish, you know, wish you guys the best. I wish, you know.
Did he ever seem angry by it?
No, he goes, I'm not getting involved in it. So, you guys, you know, do your own thing and you know, figure it out. And, you know, I told my brother knows about the abuse, and he said if there's anything he can do to help me, he would. And
Nikki, Chad was killed. Chad was murdered. It's not a suicide. There were multiple gunshots.
no.
Yes. So like I said, I know how. I just need to know why.
No. No.
Is there...
Why would anybody
I don't know, Nikki, but that's what I want to find out. So why would that happen to Chad?
I don't know.
Nikki, where did you go after you guys came back from bowling? Or after you came there when Chad was at bowling?
We went back to the hotel.
Who's we?
Well, he helped me carry the stuff in.
Huh?
He helped me carry the stuff in.
Who did?
Earl.
Oh, okay. So you came back to the hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What happened then?
You said it's hotel.
Just you and Earl?
Mm-hmm.
For help?
We were there for a minute. Well, I stayed in the room and he went and stayed in his room.
Okay. So you guys had separate rooms? Okay.
I went to sleep. I don't know. So
Okay.
after I'm done with work, I'm pretty much in bed shower. I had my stuff thrown everywhere and baskets stolen. That was it.
So Earl spent the night in his room? But you didn't know where he was? Or you didn't know if he left after that or anything like that?
I don't think he did.
Okay. Nikki, we also have the ability, we have the video from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I know you came back with Earl.
Right.
And like I said, I need you to be, honest with me on what all goes down, because I'm trying to figure out, I know how. I need to know why that Chad was murdered.
I just want him back.
I know. Nikki, I can't change what happened, but I can explain how or why. I know. What? So, Nikki, you need to be honest with me. Did you and Earl stay in the same room?
Well, in his room, you know, ever since his bedroom, he was out in the what do you call it, the other room.
The other room, I don't know what you mean.
Like the main room.
The living room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys have one room?
Room, but it's like you come in and it's a room, like it's a living room and then it's a bedroom. You have to pull out.
So we know that, Nikki. We know when you guys came, when you guys went. So I'm asking because I know you're a good person. I mean, just talking with you, you've been through so much. I just need to find out why. I know how. I know when. I know where.
Do that.
Nikki, did you have anything to do with Chad's death?
No. That's a terrible thing to do.
Okay. Do you know if Earl would have anything to do
No, he wouldn't.
with Chad's death?
No.
Is there anyone else you could think of?
I can't think of anybody. I don't hang out with anybody I go with. I don't know.
Where does Earl live?
He's back home in Canada.
He lives in Canada.
Mm-hmm. He's a project manager, so he travels around.
When did you guys rent the room?
It was on Sunday. Sunday he would rent it.
Sunday he would have rented it. Nikki, you said you didn't get into a fight till Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you rent a hotel room Sunday?
Well, he was coming to town.
Okay. So who rented the hotel room?
Earl did.
Okay. And so had you talked to Earl before you rented?
Well, I knew he was coming to town.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew he was already coming to town.
Okay. So when did you talk to him and discuss?
Monday, and I told him we got into a fight, and he said he'd hang out on the couch and I could come there, crash for a few days. Just to say thank you.
Okay. So Monday night. That's the night you got, or that's the day you got into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's the day you went back from when he was at bowling.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were at the house for about 30 minutes, right?
I think that's what it was, 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I know we carried out some stuff in laundry baskets.
Okay. So after you left the house with the laundry baskets,
Mm-hmm.
tell me everything that happened.
We went back to the hotel, we carried in the stuff, we stayed in, and then he asked, I was really thirsty. He asked if I was doing alone, and I said, I couldn't sleep, because I was really upset. I said, so we walked around, we just talked for a while.
In the hotel or what?
Mm-hmm.
The hotel room? Okay.
I don't know.
And what?
Just told me, I'm lost. I don't understand. Just don't understand.
What don't you understand, Nikki?
I don't understand why a lot of things, why he was not going to counseling with me. All that.
Did you guys ever leave the room that night?
I don't remember. My brain is so full of everything right now.
remember if you left the room Monday night?
There was smokes. So I mean, if we left him, went outside and he smoked. He does smoke and he can't smoke in the rooms.
Nikki, I looked at the video. I know you left that night. I want you to be as honest with me.
I know we did. We went to Candy Cane Lane.
Where's that?
Just up by, when you look divide. Because all those houses at the whole lane is full of Christmas lights.
Okay. What time did you guys go there then?
I don't remember what time I couldn't sleep. I don't remember what time we were there. I talked to Chad, it was 10. I don't remember what time we were there.
Do you think it was it shortly after you talked to Chad?
I don't remember. There's something in there. I don't remember what time we were there. Then we went after because I wanted to show him. Didn't sleep and I said, I want to see the Christmas lights. Before they all take them down. So I don't get to see them this year.
So Nikki, something we commonly do to just track everybody where they're going or if they've been there, we get all the video from cameras that are in the area on the routes they would take.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already pulled some of that video.
Okay.
So I know that you guys left the hotel.
Okay.
And I know you guys went somewhere. When you went to Candy Cane Lane, did you ride with Earl?
Mm-hmm.
What did you drive in?
I don't remember what vehicle we were in.
What does Earl drive?
A white truck.
In the interrogation room, Nikki played the part of the broken wife. She'd crash into tears, sobbing uncontrollably. Then, just as fast, she'd stop. Calm, collected, almost rehearsed. It was a performance. She wanted to seem innocent, helpless, a grieving victim caught in a nightmare. But detectives saw straight through it. The crying wasn't grief, it was a strategy. Every time they cornered her with evidence, the detective would say Chad was murder, not an accident, the camera, the messages with Earl. She'd break down, hoping emotion could blur the facts. You'll get to see the good cop, bad cop act performed by the detectives in just a second.
Nikki, this is Joe Aarons.
Hi.
He's with Bureau of Criminal Investigations.
No.
Hello.
And
I have to go soon.
So I wanted to come in and we knew that, so we wanted to get me in here as soon as we could then. Sorry, I had some other things going on too, so I missed a lot of apparently what you've been talking to him for a while now. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I guess at this point, I've reviewed everything. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing you need to be doing right now is you gotta be honest about everything. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of information. I was at the crime scene. I helped process the crime scene. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what my thing is on a lot of this is the processing and analyzing of things. And all I do is criminal investigation.
Right.
So, I know you've been talking to him and told him some things. Some of that I can tell you right now is not true. I know we have video like he said. We have when you're coming and going from that room. But I think that some of it you just need to explain a little bit better, maybe. Like for me, I missed out on some. What's your relationship with Earl?
We've known each other, like I said, he first bought cookies, and from there when he came into the area, I've went and catered or cooked for him before, and we've more so developed a joking relationship. He's hung out with my kids. I've met his daughter.
Have you met his wife? You said he was married,
yep.
Right? Okay.
No, I've not met his wife. No.
Okay.
No.
So what was Earl doing in North Dakota?
he's coming here he's got a couple project manager jobs that he's coming to scout and all that, so.
Okay, all right. And Chad knows Earl?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
are they friends?
They've met, they've hung out, they've, said he's came over and, I guess it's been, pretty much anybody that comes over, my thing is if you come over, you order from me, you pretty much already have free range, come to the house and have a bite to eat and.
Order from you, what do you mean order from you?
I have a catering business.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. So Chad knows Earl. They get along?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then I understand you were staying at the Staybridge. Okay. So you were staying with Earl?
He had already had a room there, and I told him, I said, I was upset Monday, and I said, I just need some time. The furnace isn't working. It's a forever ending thing. I said, I told you, I said, I can't keep doing no furnace working. I don't want to be here. I said, it's been out pretty much since we've been living here. And I said, I don't want to be here. I said, we had an argument about his drinking, and at that point I said, I just left. I did to work. I worked Monday, obviously, and then Or came out to the house with me, we grabbed some stuff, and we left.
Okay. So what did Chad think of you going and staying in a hotel room with Earl?
And he said nothing different than, said we went to Texas. I went
Who's
to...
we? When you say we, you said we went to Texas. So who's we? You and Chad or you and Earl?
Me and Chad went to Texas,
Okay.
and then them. But I went over to the cities and shopped. I met Earl and his daughter over there, and hung for a weekend and
Okay, but
talked to Chad. Talked to
so
Chad every night.
What did Chad think of you going and staying in a hotel room with Earl? Chad didn't think anything of that? Really?
No.
I'm a married man myself. He's married. That would not fly with... I don't know any guy that would fly with that.
I guess I
Would go
know.
stay... What would you have done if Chad had went and stayed with Earl's wife in a hotel room while you stayed home? Come on. Let's
It's
be
not gonna-
realistic here.
They said we went to the cities and we hung out. It was me and Earl, and I talked to Chad every night.
Yeah?
And
Uh-huh.
FaceTimed it. Just to have fun, we hung out. I got stuff from when we were there. I talked to the boys. We did different things.
So do you and Earl, it's more than just a friendship. There's definitely a romantic relationship there, right? Okay. So if I told you that we had some information from some of the apps on your phone that says differently, what would you say to that?
And we can say anything.
Huh?
We can talk back and forth. We've talked back and forth and said, I think he's, super nice person. He thinks that, I'm super beautiful, and, I like hanging out with him. I miss him when he's not around. I don't have a whole lot of friends to hang out with. I don't go out. I don't hang out. I'm not big into the drinking scene. I'm not big into all that. So when we get together, we hang out. We sit and talk. We do this. That.
Sleeping in the same hotel room, hundreds of messages back and forth. Him calling her beautiful, whispering about their future. And yet, Nikki had the nerve to sit there and say, "We're just friends." I don't think so. And neither did the detectives. They weren't buying it for a second.
Said, I saw the crime scene. We have all the evidence to kind of know what happened here. And a crime scene like that, and what happened to Chad, could have been done by someone that could be construed as a monster, or it could be someone that, if they had a reason for that, but it would need to be explained. Otherwise, it's going to look like it was done by someone who was a monster. And that's that. It was a fairly brutal scene. I mean, Chad, like he explained, had been shot, and then the house was on fire. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Okay, what don't you understand?
I miss him at times.
I believe that. I have no doubts about that. But I'm going to be straight up with you. I believe that you know what happened, and I think it's in your best interest to just be honest with us about what you know. All right, so we can tell me about then what you did when you showed up around 10 after 1 in the morning, you and Earl.
Where?
At your house. Did I forget to tell you that when you tried logging off of the camera system, it didn't actually log you off and put you in that privacy mode? It kept recording? Yeah, it did.
No.
So, yeah. So help me explain this. That's what I'm here to do, explain.
I went out.
You went out where?
Went out of the house. I wanted to get my meds.
Mm-hmm. But you said that you keep your meds in your purse.
I know, but I needed more meds.
Okay.
I have a patch.
Uh-huh. Okay, so tell me what happened when you guys were out there. Because it was you and Earl. It's on video.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't find it. I had my extra patches in there.
Patches? Just medication
My
patches?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't find my patches, so then I'm not going to go in the house and dig around. I usually
Yeah.
have them out, so
Mm-hmm. So you couldn't find them? So you left? Okay.
because I have them, I always set them on a stand. There's that stand when you first come in where there's the crock pot,
Mm-hmm.
and so I left. I said I can't find them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm not going to dig
Mhm.
around.
So what happened when you guys were in the house? Because Chad was there at that point.
Jack was up drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find him and said hi and how much anything. She was drinking and she left us up and left.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the only problem with that, Nikki, is you guys were there for an hour and 40 minutes.
I know I couldn't find my patches.
You didn't look for your patches for an hour and 40 minutes while Chad sat there drinking. Look at me, Nikki. You did not look for your patches or your medicine for an hour and 40 minutes while Chad sat there drinking. Did you?
I couldn't find my patches.
I understand that. I
Yeah.
believe that.
Dinking around in the kitchen and
Doing what?
I put a little dishes in the dishwasher
Okay.
and I hit go.
Mm-hmm. And what was Earl doing during that time?
Talking to Chad and he asked if you're ready and I said, I'm ready.
And where was Chad at?
In the living room.
Okay. And Chad just sat there drinking and him and Earl just sat there and talked while you looked for your meds?
Didn't
Right.
see much of anything.
Okay. And what did you guys do for an hour and 40 minutes? Because you didn't look for your meds and it didn't take you an hour and 40 minutes to empty your dishwasher, load your dishwasher, and push go.
I was in the garage. I looked for my meds, couldn't find them. I dinked around with some stuff in the garage, went in the house, and he was up drinking
Mm-hmm.
whatever, small talk.
Did what?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I scraped stuff into from the crock pot into the trash can.
Yeah.
and loaded the dishwasher. I went to the pantry, figured out for some stuff in the pantry. Looked in the pull-out drawers for my more meds, and I said, I'm leaving, I'm out. And we left. I can't find my meds.
Was Chad mad when you left? Yeah. Why was Chad mad?
Because I didn't want to stay home.
And you were going to stay in a hotel with Earl, right?
Because I wasn't there.
Well, no, I'm not saying that anything with that, but I can about imagine if Chad was sitting there drinking and you show up at home with Earl, and then you're going to hang out there for an hour and 40 minutes and then go and leave and go back to a hotel room with Earl, that Chad's probably quite pissed, right? So what happened when you guys were there? Something happened.
Yes. Because I said I didn't want to stay because the furnace didn't work. And so we argued. And then we left.
What else happened there?
That was it. I went up to the car and we got in. The ding with the garage opener, because the garage opener is always open, and then we left.
Did you maybe go out to the vehicle and Earl stayed inside for a little while?
I went to the vehicle, there's a ding with the garage opener, and then he put his boots on and we came out and we left.
And then what happened?
Went to a hotel.
And then what?
And got up and I went to work. And went from there.
What time did you go to work?
I have to be there by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
So
And we got up in the morning and ran and what did I run to? Oh, I'd run and get I ran and got something. I don't remember what I ran and got.
where'd you run and get something at?
I was ran and got coffee.
So what do you, okay, all right.
Starbucks. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Starbucks.
Because then explain to me why at 6:32 there was someone back out there. You guys were back out there. And don't claim you don't know. Okay. Here's the thing. Are we about done lying?
I need my patches.
That's fine, and I understand that. But
I need my patches, so I snuck into the house.
And
I wanted to run in and grab my patches.
and
And run right back out. And left.
So you ran in and grabbed your patches, and so now you can run back out there at 6:32 and be back out of the house in about 5 minutes, and you knew where your patches were. But that hour and 40 minutes that you guys were out there earlier,
They weren't in the bathroom. I ran into the bathroom. I can't find them. I finally got some from Dr. Lawson's office.
okay, but that has nothing to do with that. You're telling me that you spent an hour and 40 minutes out at the house or a couple hours earlier looking for your patches and couldn't find them, and then at 6:32 you go out there and just run in and grab them, and you know where they're at.
Maybe I have them in the bathroom. We'll check the bathroom.
So for an hour and 40 minutes you didn't check the bathroom.
No, because we were arguing. Once he texted me to arguing with him, I argued.
Yeah. You know, I think that you feel bad about what happened. Here, look at me though. You feel bad about what happened, don't you?
But what?
What's happened to Chad at this point?
I have nothing to do with what happened to Chad.
Right. Here's the deal on this. The longer time goes on, what you do know, it's not going to get any easier. It's going to keep building up and building up on you. You're not going to later on feel better about this. The only way you're going to have any closure to this at all is for you to be honest with us. And since I've been in here, You haven't been honest to me at all.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't. That's why I asked you guys. I don't know.
But then why do you keep lying to me?
All I wanted to do was run out and grab my patches.
The mumbling? The fake confusion? That's not gonna cut it with the detectives.
But that's not what happened. That's not at all what happened.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't.
No, well, here, what I'm saying is that's not what happened in...
I'm listening. I need to send my mom the address.
Okay, let's send your mom the address so that can get taken care of.
Where's the address for somebody else?
Not off the top of my head, but we can look it up for you. He's going to pull it up on his phone.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't.
And you may not have seen exactly what happened to him,
I don't know what happened.
but I think you have a really good idea of what happened.
I don't know what happened.
But you have a really good idea what happened.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Because there's no reason at this point that you would be lying to me about all this other stuff. I mean, the only time you're even telling us you're out at that house is when I call bullshit on your story. Right?
Your Honor, I stopped it now because it's...
My brain is full of everything.
I believe
that's
it.
happened.
I believe it. You have went through some things, and it sounds like...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, let's get that taken care of.
It's 1, 2,
Hold on. I'm sorry. What is it?
1215 North 19th Street.
I don't know what happened. You guys, I don't.
Well, I want to hear step
what
by step
happened.
what happened when you and Earl were out there for an hour and 40
We went
minutes.
out to the house. We got there. He was drinking. Him and Earl talked. You know,
And where were that when they were talking?
Chad was in his couch,
Okay.
whatever you want to call it, his couch area. And he was drinking. Earl said hi, you know, they talked about whatever. And I was busy looking for my meds. I put the dishes in. So I did the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
We got into the argument, me and Chad started arguing about the furnace.
About what?
The furnace.
Okay.
The furnace is a non-contention battle with us
It's been a problem for a while.
since we moved in.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, I'm not staying here if the furnace doesn't work. It's not happening. I can't do it. The kids can't do it. It's not fair to us. I said, I want nothing more than to be the place that has heat. It's freezing outside, everything else. Me and him were arguing, and finally I just said, that's it. Done. I'm leaving. I left.
Mm-hmm.
Dinker around with the garage door opener and
Where were you at when you were dinking around with the garage door opener?
damn car.
In what?
Damn car.
In
the damn car.
in whose damn car?
My damn car, because
Okay.
the garage door
Right on.
didn't work.
Uh-huh.
And so,
And where was Earl during this?
his boots on to come out.
Huh?
His boots on to come out of the house.
Okay. Was he actually, or was he still in the house while you were out there?
I was out his putting boots on.
Okay. And where was he putting boots on that?
Right in the entryway thing right there.
Okay.
And got in the car and we left.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back, I said, maybe my meds are in the bathroom. I said, I gotta look into Judy's bathroom. I started doing my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I said, please run out with me. I said, I just want to check all my meds.
And where was Chad when you went out there?
I snuck in the house.
Okay, but where was Chad?
It was in the house. The house was dark. I'm assuming you're still sleeping.
Okay. And did Earl come in then too?
I don't think Earl came in the house.
Think about that for a minute.
Trying to think, figure in. I think he came into the. I think he came in the entryway. I saw him stand right here. I think he came in the entryway. But I ran back and got the meds and there was no meds. So I said, we didn't stay. I wanted to look. I opened the doors and we left.
Mm-hmm. Then where'd you go?
Back to the hotel. Because I was finishing my work. I need my patches. I have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And if I don't have my patches on, I'll get even sicker.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to work.
So what did you and Chad, or not you and Chad, what did you and Earl do from the time you got back to the hotel room the first time after being out there at your house? Or not the first time, I suppose it would be the second time, when you guys were out there for about an hour and 40 minutes, and then you went back to the hotel. What did you guys do?
I went through, we didn't make sure I had my meds. My meds were important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look for my meds.
Right.
So, look for my meds.
And where were you looking for your meds in the hotel room?
In the laundry baskets.
Okay.
Because I carried stuff out in laundry
Right.
baskets.
Uh-huh.
And I was digging through the baskets, looking through the different stuff, and back to my purse.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta be in here. I gotta find my stuff.
Mm-hmm. So then tell me why, before you guys went out there that time to get your meds, why did you feel the need to go and try to tamper with the camera system?
I don't.
You logged on at 12:43 a.m. and were attempting to put the camera in like a privacy mode, which just didn't work. And then you showed up out there 15 minutes later.
Anybody can log into my cameras that have my stuff. They don't just have to be whatever. I mean.
But it wasn't just anyone, it was you.
I've opened
It
my
wasn't just
cameras.
anyone.
I've opened my cameras up before and it's been open and I've not known it's been open before. I don't do. Here's the other thing. If I go near my home with my watch and all that, my geofence goes off.
Right.
So
But so why were you in there trying to switch the camera mode?
I wasn't. I said
It was you. We know it was you.
If I was in it, I have my hand on the button and I'm not paying attention. I don't go in and dink around with the system a whole lot. I know I went into it the other day and tried to update my geofence from where we lived to where we're living now.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't work. It kept defaulting back to other stuff. And I've tried to go in and change my stuff before. Because when I go to school or take 2 days from school, it beeps at me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said, I gotta change it. We don't even live there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I went in and when I changed geofence stuff, it flashes off the camera mode. When I change geofence, camera mode changes. That I do know, because I've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Earl and Nikki were inside that house for 1 hour and 40 minutes. And Nikki's excuse? She claimed she was just looking for her high blood pressure patch before they left. Really? Almost 2 hours to find a patch in your own house? Please, you don't spend that long looking for a patch unless you're busy doing something else, like setting the place up to burn, like covering your tracks. And they weren't just covering tracks, they even tried to shut off the camera. Think about that. If you're just innocently searching for a patch, why bother with the security system? Because deep down, they knew cameras catch killers, and they didn't want to be caught. But it was already too late.
Or was Earl back out at the house without you?
I don't remember being back at the house.
Alright, so was Earl at the house without you? Possible?
Possible. I don't remember being at the
Mhm.
house.
So Earl went out there by himself. What would Earl have went back out to that house by himself? And why would Earl have went back out to that house by himself without telling you?
I don't know.
So where were you at then?
I would have. For the most part, I'm not up that late. I've been.
Sure you're up that late because the night before you didn't even go to bed.
Because I've been working. My brain's usually pretty much taxed out, and
Right, you would have been working that day and then you were up all night. You were
I
running
was-
around at 2:30 in the morning yet. And then you went back to the hotel for a couple hours and then you were back out again. So,
I don't know. I would have been back out at the house.
so Earl was back out at the house. So what was Earl doing? Alright, so we'll establish then that you weren't out there. So what was Earl doing back out at the house?
I don't know. I would have been back out at the house.
So Earl was back out at the house. So why was Earl back out at the house? Come on, he would have told you.
I don't know.
Earl was not going to leave and go out to your house and not mention it to you.
I don't
So
know
what did Earl tell
I don't know
you?
what he would have ran to the house for.
What did Earl tell you?
He was going out and check and see if Chad was home.
Okay. So he did tell you.
Because I wanted to get some more stuff out.
Okay, so why didn't you go with him?
I was going to see if he was still home.
Okay. And then what happened?
His truck was there.
Okay.
We left.
You guys left then? So you were with him?
No, he left.
Oh. Because you just said we left.
He left.
Okay,
We
which
were-
is it? We or he?
He.
Okay. We gotta get our story straight here.
He. I want to get more stuff out.
Nikki, I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you in any way. But people who lie to me, I feel that's being disrespectful to me. If you want me to treat you with that respect, you're going to start treating me with that respect. And your continuous lying isn't working. And I think overall, you are a decent person. I think you're a good person. You've raised 2 sons.
I don't.
You have a good job.
I was planning on leaving.
Yes. And where were you going?
I was planning on moving away
To where?
to Texas.
Okay. Where at in Texas?
I was at Austin.
Okay. Did you have a job down there?
Potentially, yes. I have. I've
Something
done
in the
interviews.
works?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to
All right.
go.
You have job interviews or you did?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I've had a couple over the phone.
Okay. So when was that supposed to happen?
The 13th.
13th?
Mhm.
Okay. And just, you're moving to Texas?
Me and boys.
Okay. Nobody else?
No.
Okay. So Earl wasn't moving to Texas with you?
No.
Was there any talk of Earl moving to Texas with you? Nothing at all. So there's no text messages to a realtor or anything like that
He would eventually like to move home. He's
Right.
from there, but
that's not what I'm talking about, what Earl's plans are later on in life. So there's no text messages regarding you and Earl looking at houses down there.
please come down and look at him with me. Yeah, I mean, I want someone to help me look at a house. I don't want to do it alone. I mean, I want someone to help me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, we talked about going down and looking at homes with me. I don't want to look alone. I mean,
Okay. Well, that clears that up a little bit
I don't want to
for
go
us,
down.
okay?
I don't want to go down with the homes alone.
Mhm.
You know, and
Did Chad know you were leaving?
I told him before I was going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So let's again go back through some of this again, because a lot of it's still not making sense to me, and honestly, the reason some of it's not making sense is because you keep lying to me. Almost everything I've asked you about the events, you've lied about. So, so we're going to start though. I just want to kind of go back a little bit, and so on, it would be the 31st at about 10:54 when you and Earl went back out there. It would have been the last time that we were just talking about. So tell me about that again, why you guys were out there.
I want to get more of my stuff.
Okay. And Chad was home.
The pickup was there.
Pickup was home. Where was Chad?
I don't know. The pickup was home.
Okay. So you didn't see him when you went inside to get your stuff?
I didn't go in the house.
Okay, you didn't. Just Earl went in the house?
10:54.
Yeah. So Earl was the only one who went in the house that time.
I didn't go in the house.
Okay, that's not what I asked you. Don't answer questions that I didn't ask you. I asked you if... So Earl went in, is the only one that went in the house. You didn't go in the house with Earl.
Yes.
Okay. So what did Earl do when he was in the house?
He was going to go and grab some more of my stuff.
He went in and grabbed more of your stuff? What stuff did he grab?
I wanted more of my stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you just waited out in the vehicle? Okay. Which is different than what you just told me a minute ago, because a minute ago when we were talking, you said that you didn't go with.
The last time I was at the house was in the morning. I went to the house in the morning. That was the last time I was
Right,
there.
I'm talking about at 10:55 that night then.
I didn't go out to the house.
You just told me you did.
No, I did not. I went out in the morning.
Right.
And I wanted to go in and grab my patches.
Mm-hmm. But you just told me right now that you and Earl went back out there and Earl was the only one who went in.
I did not go out there.
Then, but Earl did. Okay. And what did Earl bring back with him?
I have wrapping paper.
Wrapping paper? So Earl went out there and grabbed wrapping paper?
Christopher's backpack.
And more what?
Christopher's backpack.
Christopher's backpack? Okay. I'm sorry, who's Christopher?
Tweety.
Okay. All right. I know you refer to him as Zap, but okay. And what did Earl tell you when you got back?
I had to use backpack.
Okay. And so what did you guys do before that? Before Earl went out to your house and got the backpack, what were you guys doing before that?
I don't know. I don't know. We ran to the store. I don't know.
What store?
To the Walmart, maybe?
Which Walmart?
We went to the Walmart that's by Stevenage.
Okay. The North Walmart.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah. That's what I refer to it at. The one up on the Skyline. Okay. And before that, what did you guys do?
Hotel, probably.
And what did you guys do at the hotel?
Probably talk to the kids.
Okay. The kids were at Grandma's house, right? Okay. And before talking to the kids, what did you guys do? You were at work?
I worked
Okay.
until 5.
Okay. Did you stay at work all day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about before that?
Mm-hmm.
Before work, what'd you do?
slept, got ready,
Okay. And what time did
made
you
breakfast.
Okay. What'd you make for breakfast?
Probably breakfast burritos.
Okay. All right. And so you slept, and how long did you think you slept?
I don't know, usually about 5.
Mm-hmm. So you got up around 5 and ate breakfast and then went to work. Okay. What about the trip out to the house at 6:30?
What was I after the house?
Okay. But that's what I asked you. I asked you what you did, and you just skipped all that. So you guys were out at the house, and what were you doing out at the house that time? Okay. And where'd you look for your med patches that time when you were out there?
I make it bathrooms, just 2 days back then.
Okay. Which one's that? I'm sorry. Is it? Okay, the first bathroom. Okay. And where was Chad?
I worked in the apartment.
And where was Earl?
Same in
Okay. And you didn't wake Chad up?
No.
Okay. And then, because where were you before you went to the hotel, or out to your house that morning?
At the hotel.
Okay. And you guys ate breakfast burritos and slept? How much did you think you slept?
I don't know. 3-4 hours.
Okay. And before you went to sleep, where were you at?
At the house, I mean,
Out at the house what?
arguing.
Arguing? Okay. And where was Earl during all of this?
In the house, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when we talk to Chad's boss, he's going to say that you've called Chad in sick before.
I went there because he hasn't been there very long.
Okay, where was Chad working before that?
Texas Bismarck.
Trucks of Bismarck?
Mm-hmm.
And who was his boss there?
Joe.
Joe who?
I don't know what his last name
Okay.
is. Joe.
Joe. You just asked for Joe. And he'll tell us
And
that.
parts. Mm-hmm.
Joe and parts.
Mhm.
Okay, so he'll tell us that
I've coached him before.
when.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Chad miss a lot of work?
He went through periods where he did.
Mm-hmm.
His allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't feel good. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So you still haven't answered my question that I asked you earlier, though, and we kind of just glossed over it. But so, in your opinion, what happened here? I mean, what happened to Chad? Okay. Uh-huh. But you sure would like us to figure it out, right? Or you didn't seem so sure about that.
I wanted you here. That's what I told him.
Okay. So if you were in our shoes, what would you do?
No.
Figure it out? How am I supposed to do that? Do you want to help us figure this out?
I do. I don't know what happened.
Okay. But you have a good idea what happened.
No, I don't.
And you have, I think, a decent idea who do who do you think did it to? And don't tell me I don't know. That's not an acceptable answer.
No.
If in your best guess, who do you think did it?
I don't know who did it. I don't know who did this. I don't want to do this. This is. I don't. Is it?
Nikki might not know, but the detectives know. She can play confused, she can act innocent, she can pretend it was all just some terrible accident. But the detectives already have the answers. While the detective questioning Nikki, The other investigator already found evidence that will tie both Nikki and Earl to years in prison. Nikki had recently taken out multiple life insurance policies on Chad, totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars. She claimed she was out of town at the time of the fire, staying at a hotel with her children. But surveillance footage told a different story. Cameras captured Nikki and Earl buying gas cans and fire-starting supplies just days before the blaze. And in Earl Howard's truck, detectives found the unmistakable scent of gasoline, along with receipts and evidence tying both him and Nikki directly to the crime. Back in the interrogation room, the detective is just trying to give her a chance to come clean, a chance to save herself. But it seems like Nikki doesn't want it.
You asked?
I asked you.
You didn't ask me anything.
I don't know.
So what, as an investigator, should I think when this happened? You and Earl are back and forth from that house, and then when I question you on it, you lie to me. If you were in my shoes, what would you think? If you were sitting here and I was sitting there and you were questioning me about it, and everything I did was perfectly innocent, but I sat there and lied the whole time, what would you think?
I don't remember all the times I was on that.
Again, you're not answering my questions. What would you think?
I'd be upset.
But what would you think?
I don't know what you would think.
I would think that you know more than you're telling us.
I don't know what happened.
And I'm getting to the point where I'm struggling to not think that maybe you were the one who did it.
I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
But tell me what you do know about it. Because you do know something about it. You do.
I don't know what happened.
I know you don't know what happened because I don't believe you were standing there when it did happen. But you do know
I don't know what happened.
I know you keep saying that. You don't know what happened.
I don't know. I can't answer anything I don't know. I don't know what happened. That's why I asked you guys. I don't honestly know what happened. I don't know.
Should I tell you what I think happened? Do you want to know what I think happened?
Tell me.
I think that you and Earl went out there, that Chad was probably drinking, being an asshole. You've got this history of being abused by Chad. I don't know, did he assault you that night, or was he threatening to? Was he threatening to assault Earl?
No.
Because I can about imagine how a drunk guy who likes to fight and hit someone when they're drunk is going to handle his wife walking in with another guy that she's then going to go stay at the hotel with. I can about imagine how that's going to go. And that's about how it went, didn't it? I mean, I'm sure that did not go well at all, did it?
We argued about the furnace. I don't know.
And I'm sure Chad was just ecstatic about the idea of you going and staying in a hotel room with another guy, wasn't he?
He didn't say anything. We were arguing about the furnace, and I told him I didn't want to be there. And then he was hollering about not wanting me not wanting to be there.
Okay. So, what I think happened is that something happened. And I'm not going to get into something happened at that time, and whether you stepped out in the garage, stayed out in the kitchen, something happened in that house that led to Chad dying. Do I think you were probably standing there? No.
I don't know.
But I think that you were there. You were on that property at the time when it happened.
I don't know what happened at all. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
at all what happened.
What if I told you that the second time when you went out there with Earl in the morning and you guys were in the house, that we believe that Chad was probably already deceased at that time? And that the third time when you said, well, this is still up for debate because you've changed your story a few times, when you and Earl were out there that next evening, 10:55 or whatever, Chad was also deceased at that time.
I don't know what happened.
So I think you have a little explaining to do as to, we believe you were in that house twice after Chad was deceased.
No.
That's
I
not
don't-
true?
no.
Or,
I don't know what happened.
okay, that's not what I asked you. So are you telling me that's not true?
Not true.
So Chad was alive when you were in the house the last two times.
When I went in that morning, he stood there. I snuck in and out.
Okay,
Okay, here, let me ask you a question.
please.
Why would I go back to somebody's room, or why would I wake somebody that's always in a foul mood that I'm trying to get out and get away from?
Why would you go out there at 1 in the morning when he's been drinking and stay there for an hour and 40 minutes?
I need those patches.
Just like you needed the patches at
I need
6:30.
those patches.
Yes, I believe that.
I get so violently sick.
Okay. I'm not disputing that with you. That's one part of your whole statement that you've made to me that I actually don't think you're lying on.
We left. Kind of giggled
Uh-huh.
and left. He was mad.
And then you guys go back out there that night then.
No, we went out, we got my stuff.
Okay?
Went back out.
In the morning, right?
We got into argument.
So you got in an argument that morning then?
Well, whatever time that was, in the AM.
Okay.
And that argument.
Uh-huh. Yep, so you went out there, got some stuff while Chad was bowling, right?
Right.
Then you went back out there in the early morning hours, like 10 after 1. And again, we're looking at it, and you had been on the camera system, switching it to privacy mode, which just for some reason, did not work. I don't know why it didn't work. It didn't work. And then you guys show up out there. You're there for an hour and 40 minutes. Right?
I was arguing with him.
I know, you said that.
I got mad.
Then you come back 3 hours later.
I need those patches.
I get that. I know that.
I run in, I get the patches. We were in and out
Mhm.
places.
It doesn't make any sense to me that you were there for an hour and 40 minutes and couldn't figure out where those patches were, but then you can go out at 6:30 in the morning when you have had no sleep at all
If somebody's arguing
and
with
had an
if somebody's
epiphany and just knew where
arguing,
they were.
if somebody's, they weren't there.
Okay?
They weren't there.
I mean, but this house also isn't that big that in an hour and 40 minutes, if you needed these patches so badly, you would have looked for them
But when you
in
don't-
all these
But
rooms.
when you don't look for them and you stop and you just start arguing with somebody, and that's all you're gonna do is argue with them? Because that's, okay, so if I'm married to you, and we're in an argument, and you're trying to look for something, and you're gonna start arguing with somebody, are you gonna keep looking for something, or are you gonna stop and focus and argue with them?
Well, if I need some medication, that's the sole purpose that I'm there, and I'm going to get violently ill. If I don't, I'm probably going to put some priority on that medication. If that's the whole purpose of me being
And
there.
I'm opening the kitchen drawer, tower, and I'm
Uh-huh.
arguing at the same time. I'm ruffling through the stuff, I'm trying to look for the stuff, and I'm opening the stuff, and I am arguing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I'm just, when you stop, you actually argue to face, and said, done, left,
Mm-hmm.
left, done. I'm not staying here, the furnace doesn't work, I'm done, left. And then here I sit to listen. What was me? One more time.
There was a fight.
No, there was no fight. None. No fight. I was not into fighting.
I know you're not. But obviously Chad was. And he came at you.
And I said something.
Where was Earl?
He was standing back in the kitchen.
And what did Earl do?
He told him, he said, let's go now. So we got us up. And Chad and I kept arguing. Chad said he was, I'm gonna fucking end it all. So I'm just fucking done. So I don't care. I don't care.
Nikki, this wasn't a suicide. We know that. This was not a suicide. I was telling you, you need to be honest with me because I need to know your side of the story, your what happened that night. Because like I said, once it's out and how it looks can't be changed. But if I can hear from you what happened that night, it's more explainable. It's explainable. It can even be sometimes understandable. What would push someone to that limit? But I know more happened at that point. I know it. I know you. I've gotten to know you. Something else happened. What happened, Nikki?
There was somebody else in the house.
Somebody what?
Somebody else in the house.
Who else was in the house?
I don't know the name. Other person.
Why haven't you told me that?
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
There's somebody else in the house.
Was it a male or a female?
Male. Not big. Don't know who. I don't know who somebody is. I've never seen the person before. He stepped in.
And what happened?
They were arguing in Shatterford. They were arguing in the back bedroom. That's what else is really easy. But I don't know who this other person is. I've only seen one other time. In Chad. I said, what do you mean? The other person came up from downstairs. And we were in. I don't know who the other person is. I've seen him once before.
What did he look like?
Can you stand up once, please? I'm sorry.
No problem.
Taller.
Taller than him.
Stand up. Not that tall.
So in between them.
So,
Here.
okay.
I don't know
Okay.
his name. We called Chad Hun.
He called Chad Hun? Hun?
Hun. He was Hun stop.
I don't know what that means. Hun stop?
Hun stop.
He called him Hun?
Hun stop.
Okay.
Like how someone calls someone honey, but
It's
short.
Hun stop.
Okay.
Okay.
And I looked at it. What does this mean? Chad was, what do you think it means? I said, no. at that point, that sleep was laying on the chair already.
What sleep?
I told you.
Oh, yeah.
The gun chair. The gun sleep.
Oh, okay.
The gun sleep was laying on the chair already.
What did he look like?
I would say mid-40s. Spiked hair. Spiky hair. No glasses. Very nice teeth. Super nice teeth. He smelled like crown. That would explain why.
Why?
You know, my sister told me before that downstairs towards been open. I don't know.
Nikki, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. Obviously, I mean, why did you never tell me this before? That would have told me so much more. So that's why I don't understand why now.
I wanted to have something.
There is. I understand dignity, but there's nothing dignity about what happened to Chad.
Sorry.
But that's what I want you to have dignity too.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
I've seen him before with
But-
the chair.
But if he's so angry that you're leaving, why is he calling him hun? If he's in love with you and he doesn't want you to leave, and he has another a lover there, a boyfriend or whatever this guy is,
This one you
why does he?
before. Did he have a girlfriend? I said no. I don't know. But I've heard rumors in town.
What have you heard?
That he's seen somebody else.
Do you have any idea like what he would be involved in as far as that?
I know Chad's with gambling.
Chad deep in debt with gambling. What?
Gambling.
That was another thing. Why didn't you tell me that?
I don't know where no gamble's at. But I know he's doing gambling.
Nikki, this
He's
isn't
undercover.
this isn't making sense to me. How would he know this guy? How would you not mention that he
I've
was there?
seen the yard before.
Where?
At the races.
At the races. You don't know his name at all.
No, but I can describe him. We came up to Chad's waist shower. And Chad goes, what are you doing here? And I don't know. I've seen him before.
I can't wrap my head around it, Nikki. I want you to be honest with me. I want you to tell me so I can understand. But I can't get my head around this, that all of a sudden you tell me there's this new guy. That doesn't make sense to me, why you didn't tell me this before. And why is Chad angry at you for leaving if he has someone there that's calling him hun? Another man in front of other people. That's an intimate relationship. That's close. Why does he care where you go if he has this intimate relationship with someone?
Because he told me before when we first got together, his family thinks we're not a picture perfect family. I am an offer more to him than what his ex-wife did. I have the kids. I make the pictures look perfect.
What do you need to ask us?
I'm gonna talk.
Take the code here. Okay.
I need my purse back in.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk. But I need to raise my mind talking.
I think it's in your best interest right now to talk, right? And I don't think at this point you're in a position to bargain with us, are you?
No.
Okay. So I think you need to do what's in your best interest, and what's in your best interest right now is not trying to bargain with us. I think at this point we have tried so hard with you, we've tried to help you as much as we can, and at this point, you know what? either want to play ball or you don't.
Okay, I'm ready for that.
Okay. When? So, tell me. What it is you want to say?
I don't know what happened. I sat in the car.
Tell me about this. When was this?
We got up there, we had an argument.
So that was like 1:10 in the morning.
Yes.
Okay.
We had an argument. I went back out. We got in the car. I got in the car. I was like, "Hey, come out." So go in the car.
Who's he?
So,
Okay.
so go in the car. So we did.
So you got in, where were you at when you got in an argument? Okay. And where was Earl? Okay. And so you got in an argument and then you walked out? Is that, am I understanding right? Okay.
He came out. We left.
How long were you in the car waiting for Earl?
And 15 minutes.
Okay.
Seems like a long time now.
Okay.
And we left. The next morning I said I needed to come get my patches. I said, okay. So we went out there and I ran into the back bedroom. Bathroom. To the bedroom bathroom right there. I didn't find my patches. I saw the further I went. I didn't go any further back into the house. I looked around into the drawers.
And where was Earl?
In the kitchen. He was just waiting for me.
Okay.
In the kitchen. So I said, I can't find anything. He said, okay, you ready to go into bed? I never went any further in the house than that. I don't know.
This is all the same shit you told us earlier. Mine is just the fact that you went out to the car before Earl did. It's all the exact same shit.
I don't know.
He told you, Nikki. He told you what happened in there. Now's your time to tell us.
Because,
They argued.
you know what? Earl would not have let you go back into that house and not have told you.
No.
Because what if you went to the back bedroom? Went back to the master bedroom and Earl's just standing in the kitchen going, huh? No.
They argued.
And then what? They argued and then what?
In the right bedroom.
Okay.
So that was Earl and Chad, not this mystery guy.
Then what?
I went out into the car and I waited.
Okay.
And okay, when I said, let's go now.
Why?
You asked what happened.
I said, what happened?
And what did Earl say?
It's not alive.
Earl said he's not alive. And then what?
He might not be alive, I don't know for sure. I said, what?
And then what did Earl tell you?
Because we argued in the back bedroom. They were arguing with the gun. Back and forth. He said the gun went off.
And what happened when the gun went off?
I didn't hear it go off.
Okay. But what did Earl say happened when the gun went off?
And then it went off. And he hit Chad.
Then what happened?
And we ripped him out. And we left.
And what happened after that? What did Earl think why you had to go back to that house?
I said I have to go back and get my meds.
Right then, you said that when he, or the next morning.
The next morning. I said I need my meds. We went back to the hotel.
Okay, so here's my question for you regarding that. So, Chad's your husband, right? So Earl comes out and says that he shot, or that Chad got shot in the house, and he might not be. It never occurred to you to want to go check on him?
I said, what? What do you mean? He goes, I don't know if I did him or not. He was like, how bad he is. He goes, still gotta go out. Okay.
You didn't want to go check on Chad?
I said, I'm gonna go right in. He goes, go back to the hotel. Okay. There's no shot. I didn't know what to think.
Who came back to set the fire? How did he do it?
I don't know.
You were with him?
I don't really know how.
What did you see him doing?
He went in the house, and that's all I see him do.
Did he bring anything with him?
Did he tell you he was going to set a fire?
He just went in the house.
No, you didn't. You did not go back to that house just for no reason. He had to have told you, said what was going to happen. Nikki, we're at this point already. Why? Tell me what Earl said. Why was he doing this?
And you being his wife, I don't believe that you, oh, I'll just sit in the car and wait. I'm not going to go check on Chad yet. So it's now been 5 hours since he's been shot, and you don't think at some point you would want to go check on him? Unless you already knew what his condition was.
I never seen who was.
Why not?
I was like, he wasn't alive anymore.
Earl said he wasn't alive anymore? How did Earl know?
He was in the house.
The second time? And then what did Earl do? Nikki, what did Earl do?
The cooking here was whatever he put in the back bedroom. And they went, when they were eating, that was early night.
Okay.
And he said, I want to go back in the house. He goes, I'll go check. He goes, to go in here. He goes, to go over and set a fire.
He said he tipped it over, or that it did tip over.
He said that if it tip over and set a fire. He said, as soon as there's a cooking in the house, you can't be going in the house. It's dangerous.
Nikki, that's all after the fact though, but he came back to start that fire. Who planned that part? Was that you or was that Earl?
No.
You didn't plan to come and set the house on fire.
No.
Earl did. How is he going to set that house on fire? Nikki, you've already told me. Just come, free yourself.
What's going to happen to you?
We'll talk about that afterwards, but I got to know what the full story is too. Right now, we're having to cut this up every second. What did Earl come back to do with the propane tank?
Tip it. Because it was tip over.
For what reason?
So he was scared.
You said he was scared. Okay.
Because we argued.
Okay, I got that. That's,
Yeah.
did he tell you anything else about the fire?
No. I said, cooking thing. It's going to tip it over. And set the house on fire.
Okay.
And that's all I know.
So did you guys come back to check? Did Earl want to come back to check if that house had burnt down? When was that?
I want to say it was later that night. At 10x. Yeah, we were out that morning. I said it was a different man.
Okay. And what did he say when that house hadn't burnt down yet?
He said he just went up to check the house.
Okay, and when it wasn't burnt down, what did he say? I know what I would think. What did he say?
He said the house was hot.
So he went into the house.
He said he couldn't go in the house. He said it was too hot.
So okay, so that happened. You guys came back to the house, Earl went in, moved the propane tank so that it would start the house on fire. And then you guys came back again and checked, and the house still hadn't burnt down.
I didn't come back.
You didn't go back with that time? Okay. And the house still hadn't burned down.
That's what he said. It wasn't.
Okay, did he say, did he go back in?
No, he said he didn't go back.
Why?
He just said he didn't go back in. That's all he said. He said the house was hot. And he told me
What did he tell you about the fight?
that they were arguing. They were arguing about him always beating on me.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that it was continuous. And he just wanted him to stop beating on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we argued about too. I said him to stop beating on me.
Right.
And he just needed to stop. And Chad was arguing that he was drunk and wasn't making any sense.
Okay.
And he said that Chad had the gun. And he had shells right there. So they were laying there on the bed.
Okay.
And he said that they had picked it up. And they were arguing about the gun. Back and forth. And he said it went off. He said he didn't know the gun was off. He said he said that
What did Earl say about how many times it went off?
he didn't say how many times it went off. But I didn't hear anything in the car. I had the garage door open and the car was running.
So why didn't you go back in and check on him?
When he told me that, I didn't even know what to think. I was in complete shock. Still I'm fighting with him.
With all you had been through, were you kind of relieved that Chad was gone?
Kind of. I like I lost the first house.
Yeah.
He's behind me so much, you guys.
I know.
You've seen the pictures.
I've seen the pictures.
I'm trying to get away.
I know, Nikki. That's all I wanted was the truth. Like I said,
get away.
I just wanted you to tell me what happened.
I'm trying to get away. And the last time I taken away, he broke my ribs. He didn't anymore. My arms aren't even all the way from up.
So you were in the house arguing with Chad.
Yes.
Did you ever go back in that house until you went back in with him?
No.
Okay. But we know that Earl went back twice. At least twice, right? So what did you guys do in the meantime? So you get back to the hotel and Earl, because Earl had already told you that he shot Chad and Chad might not be alive.
I cried.
Okay, so when Earl shot Chad, did he tip the propane heater over then? Or was it when he went back the next morning? I was a little confused on that.
I went back.
When he went back. So the house was not lit on fire when he shot Chad. That was only when you went back another time. So what did you guys do that night then? So you get home and there's about a 3-4 hour gap from when you get back to the hotel till when you guys go back out there. You cry. What else?
I said I cried. And I said I don't know. I said I don't know. I said it's not.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nikki, whose idea was it to call in Chad on Tuesday morning?
When we argued, he told me I was supposed to call him.
Right, but this had just happened though. Chad's not going to go to work. Whose idea was that? The Tuesday, I know, but why would, if Chad is dead and you know that, why would you still call him then? Whose idea was
As a
that?
victim, I'm scared. It's so many places in my head.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so you weren't trying to take time to figure anything out?
No. As a victim, I'm scared.
What about then on the 2nd when his co-workers are out at the house and they call you and say, hey, he didn't show up for work, and you just basically tell him, I'm busy at work right now, I'll check on it later. What was going through your mind at that point? Because you knew exactly why Chad wasn't.
I had been really busted out of my brain. Really.
Why did you talk with Earl when they started calling from work?
No, because I've been crazy busy.
Nikki,
And then
your husband just died in a really weird, crazy circumstance that just snowballed out of control. You can't tell me that you weren't thinking of that. That had to be every second of your life from the time it happened.
I talked to him, obviously, yes, I talked to him.
Okay, what did you guys talk about?
I just told him, I said, this is nuts. I said, I just don't even understand because it's just seems to be crazy. I said, all I ever wanted to do was stop drinking.
Right,
Be nice to me.
right.
That's all I ever wanted.
What did Earl say to do? What did you guys talk about? What did you guys think to do? This is that part where I'm trying to
I
understand.
said to myself, I don't know. I said, I don't know. I said, Sergeant Aaron, that's so nasty. I said, and everybody was being so mean to me about my phone and everything.
Yeah,
And I said, I just want to understand. I said, he's so nice to me. I said, I just want to go talk to him.
right.
And every time I tried calling you, you never called me back. And I called so many times. I called. And I wanted to talk to you earlier.
And Nikki, that's why we're talking now.
And I called.
Okay, and that's why we're talking now, okay?
And I called.
We can get past that point, okay? That's your conscience telling you to do the right thing, okay? That's the mother in you of 2 children telling you you have to take care of them, you have to come forward, you have to tell them. So tell me what those conversations were so I can understand and I can make sense of this. And like I said, if this is something that's snowballed out of control, like you said, that can make sense, right? But I can't keep dragging these answers out of you. I can't keep dragging what happened. I can't ask for the truth any harder.
I kept telling Earl, I said, I just want to talk to him. I said, I just want to talk to Aaron. And he goes, call him then. And I said, I do. And he never answers my phone and calls. And I said, I don't understand. You never call me back. And I called really like the next day already. And I called.
And I came out with you the next day,
No,
Friday,
no.
or Monday, I apologize, Monday.
But I called like even after you had my phone.
I know that was on the weekend, I didn't have that phone, I'm sorry.
And I called, they even called down here. And later, it didn't work again. And I said, I just want to talk to him.
Okay,
I just really want to talk to him.
okay, well, we're talking now, Nikki.
And I was like, I just need to talk to him. They called you other times and you never called me back.
All right, we gotta get past that, Nikki. We're talking now, so that's okay. I apologize, I'm sorry, but we're talking now.
Nikki, we're not questioning why you're only telling us this now.
Right, we
I mean,
understand.
this I understand.
This is understandable,
I
that.
said, I just don't understand. I said,
There was no mystery guy. Nikki just kept making up lie after lie. By the end of the interrogation, that's all it was. Lies and mumbling. Every question? Either I don't know, or another story that didn't make sense. She couldn't keep it straight anymore, and the more she talked, the deeper she buried herself. Because the truth? It was never complicated. It was just Nikki and Earl, and a plan that fell apart, and Nikki was sentenced to life in prison with no parole, and Earl, her lover, was sentenced to 25 years.